Welcome back to The Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something that, honestly, causes a lot of anxiety for federal employees. A government shutdown.
Yeah, it's a stressful time. Agencies close, people get furloughed.
Exactly, and you kind of assume everything just stops, all the normal procedures, gone. Especially if you're dealing with, say, a work injury or illness, you'd think, okay, everything's on pause now.
Right, that's the common assumption.
But digging into the source materials, we found this really crucial point, almost counterintuitive. It's the core of our deep dive today. If you're an injured federal employee or you have an occupational illness, your right to file a workers' comp claim through OWCP FECA, that right doesn't stop.
That's it. That's the mission here, to walk you through navigating this system when your usual agency support might just disappear overnight. And the key insight really is procedural. The Department of Labor's Office of Workers' Compensation Programs, OWCP, they actually designate claims processing as an essential function.
Essential. Okay.
Which means legally, core operations must continue even if funding gridlock has shut down other parts of the government.
Okay, essential sounds good, but then you look at the numbers from past shutdowns. Our sources mention, like 76% of Department of Labor staff furloughed in one shutdown?
Yeah.
That sounds less like essential and more like barely breathing?
Well, yes, that's a critical distinction to make.
So what actually keeps going at OWCP when they're down to, a skeleton crew?
It really is about keeping the lights on for the most vital things. So processing new injury claims, getting that initial CA1 or CA2 form logged.
Okay, new claims get in.
Yes. Also authorizing medical care that's already been approved. And crucially, issuing wage loss payments. If you're already out of work and receiving benefits, those payments should continue.
Ah, so people aren't just cut off financially.
Right. History shows that during past shutdowns, examiners kept adjudicating those claims and making sure benefits were paid. It's considered critical.
But with that skeleton crew, processing speed has to take a massive hit, right? And what just stops altogether? Are some claims just paused indefinitely?
Oh, absolutely. The speed slows down significantly.
Yeah.
You have fewer examiners handling the incoming workload. So expect delays. And yes, certain things are put on hold.
Like what?
Highly administrative tasks. Things deemed non-critical for immediate well-being. The big example always cited is schedule award decisions.
Ah, the permanency awards.
Exactly.
Yep.
Those claims for permanent impairment, they're typically suspended, put on ice until the government fully reopens and OWCP is back to normal staffing.
So the takeaway here for you, the listener, is pretty clear. Don't wait. Even if it's slower, new claims are being accepted.
You absolutely have to file.
You need to get your claim into that queue immediately using the online system, because the sooner you file, the sooner you secure your spot, however slow that line might be moving.
That queue is everything, which brings us straight to the tool that makes this possible for a furloughed employee.
Right, ECOMP. That's ecomp.ul.gov, the online portal. This really becomes your lifeline, doesn't it? Because the sources are clear. It stays fully functional 24/7.
The Department of Labor itself explicitly advises, and this is almost a direct quote, you may file a new claim at ECOMP even when other services are suspended.
And the key is you can do it yourself, right? Without needing someone at your agency right then.
Precisely. You can register or log in if you already have an account. And here's the critical part. You do not need your supervisor's sign-off or agency approval just to initiate the claim.
You start the process independently.
You control that first step. You go in, you select the right form.
Yeah.
Usually the CA1 for a traumatic injury, a specific event like a slip and fall.
Okay.
Or the CA2, that's for an occupational disease, something
Yes.
that develops over time, carpal tunnel, maybe hearing loss from noise exposure.
Got it. CA1 sudden, CA2 gradual.
Yep. You fill it out, hit submit, and the ECOMP system itself handles the routing. It sends it electronically to your supervisor, the agency comp office, and importantly, directly to OWCP.
Okay, before we move off ECOMP, let's clear up a misconception our sources highlighted. The furlough injury. If you're furloughed, sitting at home, and you fall off a ladder fixing your gutter, that's not a FECA claim, right?
Absolutely not. That's a crucial clarification. FECA covers injuries sustained in the performance of duty. If you're on furlough, you're not performing federal duties at home.
So coverage only applies if the injury actually happened at work before the shutdown or on your last day worked, or if it's an occupational illness linked to your work exposure.
That's exactly right. Your eligibility for a work-related condition doesn't vanish because of the furlough, but it definitely doesn't extend to, home improvement projects.
Makes sense. So I've used ECOMP, I've hit submit, but my agency's HR person is furloughed, the OWCP phone lines might be dead. How do I even know my claim wasn't just, like, lost in cyberspace?
Yeah, that's a valid concern. You really have to pivot to using the self-service tools almost exclusively. ECOMP itself provides status updates. You can log in and see if it's marked received or under development. There's also the claim inquiry system, CQS.
CQS, right.
Both are usually available phone. Using ECOMP to upload any follow-up medical evidence or check the status is, frankly, your only reliable option.
Which leads right into the communication challenge. This seems like a big one. I'm injured. I need to tell my supervisor. But they're furloughed. They legally can't even check their work email. How do I handle that notification?
You still have the obligation to notify promptly. The method just changes. Since you can't walk into their office or maybe even expect an email response,
Right.
you need to use written communication that creates a record. Send an email, leave a detailed voicemail, maybe even send certified mail to their work address if necessary. The goal is proof that you notified them as soon as possible.
Create that paper trail or digital trail.
Exactly. But here's the procedural relief, and this is vital. You do not need your supervisor's response or their section completed on the form to file your claim in ECOMP.
Ah, okay. So filing isn't held up by their furlough.
Correct. Submitting that CA1 or CA2 electronically via ECOMP fulfills your primary duty to file. The system date stamps it. That date stamp protects you.
That's your insurance policy, essentially.
It is. The supervisor can complete their part later once the shutdown ends and they're back at work. OWCP understands this, and you won't be penalized for the supervisor's delay.
That date stamp is key because, as the sources stress, those FECA filing deadlines, they don't stop for a shutdown. The clock keeps ticking.
Absolutely unwavering. The deadlines are set by law or regulation.
So which deadline is the most critical for someone who's just been injured and needs to secure their pay?
Without a doubt, it's the 30-day rule for continuation of pay, or COP.
Right.
If it's a traumatic injury, so you filed a CA1, you must file that claim within 30 days of the injury to be eligible for COP. That's up to 45 days of your regular salary paid by your agency.
Paid by the agency, okay.
Yes, and filing timely via ECOMP is the only way to protect that COP eligibility during a shutdown. Miss that 30-day window, and you generally lose the right to COP.
Okay, so the employee deadline's firm. What about the agency's deadline? Normally they have, 10 days to get the claim submitted to OWCP. If they miss that because the supervisor is furloughed, does that hurt the employee?
No, thankfully.
Okay.
OWCP excuses agency delays caused by shutdowns or furloughs. The employee isn't penalized if the agency can't meet its internal processing timeframe.
But, no.
But, and this is equally important, other deadlines don't get extended. Think about OWCP appeal deadlines. If you get a decision you disagree with, you typically have 30 days to request a hearing or maybe 1 year for reconsideration.
Right.
Those deadlines are statutory or regulatory. They're not paused or extended because of government shutdown. You still have to meet them.
Wow. Okay, so you really have to stay vigilant on those dates.
You do.
This brings up the money question again. Let's say I do file my CA1 within 30 days. My injury gets approved for time off. I'm eligible for COP, but my agency literally has no money because of the funding lapse. They can't make payroll, so they can't pay me COP. Am I just out of luck?
No, and this is where the FICA system provides that crucial safety net. The official guidance is clear.
Okay.
If the employing agency cannot issue COP due to a lapse in appropriations, the injured employee can immediately file for regular FICA wage loss compensation for that period instead.
Wait, really? So instead of agency-paid COP, I file a different form?
Exactly. You'd use the form CA7, which is the standard form for claiming compensation benefits, directly from OWCP.
So I don't go without income. I just switch payment sources from the agency to OWCP.
Precisely. The CA7 allows you to draw compensation directly from the FECA fund, administered by OWCP, to replace your lost wages during that period of disability. It's designed as a backstop.
That's huge. So the shutdown doesn't mean zero income if you're legitimately disabled from a work injury.
Correct. Now, if Congress later accrues back pay for all furloughed employees for that period,
Yeah, which sometimes happens.
right, then the agency and OWCP will sort it out on the back end. They'll reconcile any potential duplicate payments. But for you, the injured worker, the immediate income stream is protected one way or another.
That key takeaway is incredibly important. Being furloughed doesn't block your income if you have an approved work injury. If COP isn't possible from the agency, OWCP compensation steps in via the CA7.
Absolutely. But, navigating all of this, the skeleton crew, the ECOMP nuances, the strict deadlines, knowing when to file a CA7 instead of expecting COP, it's complex even under normal circumstances.
Oh, I bet.
During a shutdown with agency support gone, it's exponentially harder. The potential for making a mistake that delays or denies your claim is, frankly, quite high.
Which really underscores the value of getting specialized help, doesn't it?
It really does. This is where specialized providers who focus specifically on federal workers' comp can be invaluable.
Our sources mentioned providers like Restore Muscle and Joint as an example. They detailed sort of 4 key areas where this kind of support becomes critical, especially when your agency HR or comp specialist is furloughed.
Makes sense.
First was forms expertise, just helping complete those complex DOL forms correctly, the CA1, CA2, the CA17 duty status report doctors need to fill out, and that crucial CA7 for wage loss. Getting the paperwork right from the start.
Avoiding those common pitfalls that lead to immediate kickbacks or delays. Yeah.
Second, establishing causation. Providing the right kind of medical evidence, the narrative reports that OWCP needs to clearly link your injury or illness directly to your federal job duties. That medical connection is everything.
Absolutely critical, especially when examiners are rushed. A clear, compliant medical narrative makes their job easier and your claim stronger.
Third was benefit guidance. Just helping you understand, am I entitled to COP? Or do I need to file that CA7 for wage loss? Guiding you through that immediate income piece.
Navigating that COP versus compensation pathway is confusing. Having guidance there is key.
And finally, they mentioned specialized reports. Things like the 6th edition impairment ratings needed for those schedule awards we talked about earlier, the ones that get paused. So getting that groundwork done even if OWCP isn't processing it yet.
Right, so when OWCP does resume processing schedule awards, you already have the necessary medical documentation ready to go. It positions you better for the future.
So basically, these specialized providers kind of step in as your advocate and expert guide.
That's a good way to put it. They fill that knowledge gap and administrative support vacuum left by the furloughed agency staff. They can help keep your claim moving correctly and, honestly, reduce a ton of stress for you during a really chaotic time.
Okay, this has been incredibly helpful. Really clarifying a murky situation. Let's just quickly recap the absolute non-negotiables for the listener. 1, OWCP core functions are essential. They don't shut down entirely for claims.
Correct. Still operating.
2, ECOMP is your absolute lifeline. You must file online and file immediately to protect your rights and get in that queue.
ECOMP first, ECOMP fast.
And 3, deadlines are real, and they are not frozen by the shutdown, especially that 30-day deadline for filing a CA1 to preserve your COP rights.
Critically important. Don't miss those deadlines.
So, thinking bigger picture now, what's the final thought we should leave our listeners with?
I think it's this. Even when large parts of the federal government literally shut down due to political impasse, the fundamental systems designed to protect federal workers injured on the job. They persist. Your right to medical care, your right to income replacement under FECA, these are considered so essential that the mechanisms to deliver them are built to withstand these administrative shutdowns. It really speaks to a certain resilience baked into these core worker protection laws. The government might pause, but your rights don't.
That's a powerful point. The system, despite the chaos, is designed to keep working for you. So if you find yourself in this situation, the message is, focus on your recovery, definitely use those online tools like ECOMP and CQS relentlessly, and don't hesitate to seek out specialized help to navigate the process and secure the benefits you're entitled to.
Stay proactive. That's the key.
Great advice. Thanks for diving deep with us today.